you got through that stretch of
Yeah, that's the big one. Northwest was the big one. We really had to go in, focus, locked in, play hard, play physical, and not make a lot of mistakes. Even though we did have some mistakes in that game, but just finding ways to win ball games, and that's what our kids have done. But we still got this one left. That's probably more scarier than the other one because I knew our kids were prepared for Northwest. Now you're looking at a team that's 0-10, coming into here on senior day and hoping they prepare, for this game just like they prepare for any other game. So that's kind of, as a coach, you're concerned about. Northeastern's a good football team still. They do things well on defense, offensive. They've had some changes, back and forth, and coaching change as well. So you never know with kids. This might be their last game of the year, and the coaching staff's going to be new. They might come in here and play the hardest that they can, but you just don't know. But that was a fresh breath there when that game was over. Relaxed a little bit, but Sunday I was back to stressed. So we'll see what happens after this Saturday. Just the character and the will to win and wanting to compete continuously and being able to fight through adversity. I really think this team's matured. As the season's gone on. I thought early in the year we weren't a real mature team, just kind of didn't do things the right way. But as the season's gone on, they started doing the things that we've asked them to do with their film study and their preparations and fighting through adversity and making the plays that need to be made. Some guys are really stepping up now. Doing the things that we've wanted out of them all year long. And we're finally getting there. But they're resilient. I mean, they love one another. They play hard for one another. And they've really figured out here this down this last stretch. Because our backs have been against the wall for a long time, and it still is right now this week. But I guess they like pressure. And I guess they play better with pressure. So I guess I just need to put a little bit more pressure on them, each week. But I'm proud of them, because they have fought, so hard to get to this point, and it's right there in our grasp. We just got to take care of business on Saturday. I think it was right after the Emporia game. I think we had them take a good look at themselves and the way they were doing things, and you saw to that point that they still. We saw them up here more watching film, doing things that we asked them to do, more focused in practice, practicing harder, just doing all the little things right, And I think it was right after that game where, I told them that they're just playing for pride now because I kind of thought that's what was going to happen. That was season was over. All we could do was maybe get to a bowl game and and we might end up 9-2, but not into the playoffs. Just the way things were looking for us. And maybe they're going to make me eat my words. I have a feeling, because if they come back this Saturday and win this game, they're going to be conference champs. They're going to get into the playoffs. But I think that's because after the Emporia game was the when I really saw the change in our young men and what they were doing, and the focus, really came around for them, at that point. Yeah, our D line played outstanding. Any of those guys could have been defensive player of the week. And ended up giving to Sterling Swopes, who had some nice tackles for losses. I think he had a sack or something in there as well. But he got defensive player of the week. On the defensive side. But any of those guys could have gotten it. I mean, they all played so well. They played physical. They played aggressive. They reestablished the line of scrimmage. Got some pressure on the quarterback. Didn't allow the quarterback run game to get established as well. And it was just those guys doing their job and doing their assignments and playing physical. And that's where it all starts. It kept liming off our linebackers as well, where Delgado and Traxler were going to make some nice plays. And, it took a little pressure off our secondary, as well with the pressure that they got on them. So, a lot of credit goes to those guys up front because that's where you win the games, is up front. And, I thought we did a good job on both sides of the ball, really. Early in the season, I thought he kind of struggled a little bit, but now later on, after that second or third game, he's really come along and done the things we've asked him to do. He's taken ownership in it. He's a big kid, 6'4", 220 pounds. I mean, runs really well, strong. Now you can see him starting to be confident, in what he's doing and using his size to his advantage. And you saw that last week against Northwest. He made some really nice catches and had guys on him and still made the catch. And, there's one he dropped that he probably should have had, but you're going to drop him every once in a while. But, I love the way he plays the game. He's relentless. He's physical. He's hard to bring down. Got good speed, and he just competes. Every single play he's competing and competing to win. And if we get every kid to do that, this team's gonna go really. This team can do great things. Still competing. They still got to compete. For the job. I still think Jake is a very good quarterback and does great things for us. I just, really going into that game and seeing their defensive linemen and what they've done to other quarterbacks, we had to find a way to scramble and get out of the pocket and extend plays and. That's not really who Jake is. That's not his strong side. And we knew Chance could do those things. So, Chance had a few picks, a few mistakes. We had to keep him in there and keep going with him because, those guys pin their ears back and get after, And Chance still, with his scrambling ability, still got hit, quite a few times and hit hard. And, he just bounced back up and kept playing. But, again this week they're going to compete for the job, and we'll see what happens on Saturday.
So unable to name a starter at this point?
Unable to name a starter at this point. Every play does matter, and that's something we stress all the time. And everything they do, matters. Whether it's in the weight room, if you're taking a set off in the weight room, you're going to take a set off on the football field. So every little thing that you do in life matters, and I think they're really starting to understand that. Because the kids are getting after it in the weight room right now. They're going to class, and they're practicing hard. Doing all the individual drills, at a high level, and I'm proud of the way they're doing it. But it does. Every play does matter on the field as well. You take one play off, it can beat you. And we didn't take that play off. Lee did a good job of squeezing through the A gap and getting his hands up, which you ask D linemen to do all the time. A lot of times they forget to put their hands up, but he did what we asked him to do and got the block. And with him getting that block, that won us the game. With that, just his ability to do it was amazing too. With the way their offensive line and how tight that squeeze was in there, he was on a mission and was going to make something happen in that situation. He got it done. So, but like you said, everything that we do matters. Every play matters, and our kids are really starting to figure that out. No, it's the exact same. The coordinator there's Dane Semino. He's going to do what he's done offensively, and then defensively was, a guy that they got from Southwestern Oklahoma, I believe. So they're going to stick to what they've done so far. The guy that actually took over is kind of their special teams guy and defensive backs coach. So, I don't see him changing much. I'm watching last game. It's the same thing they did, previous weeks. So, but you never know. This is the last game of the year. Who knows what a team's going to come in here and do to try to knock you off? Because that's what they're going to try to do, is try to knock us out of the playoffs and knock us out of the chance to win the conference championship. So we got to be prepared for everything. I'm sure there's going to be some trick plays, some different alignments that we haven't seen. So we just got to lock in and do our job and do our assignments. And if we see something that we don't like or feel kind of weird about, we're going to use our timeouts. So it's just being smart and figuring out what they're doing to us early and trying to stop it. We haven't won anything yet. There's still a lot at stake right now. We lose this game, everything you've worked so hard for goes away. So if that doesn't motivate you enough, then I don't know what will. And so we hit that on Monday morning or Monday afternoon's meeting that we still have not won the conference championship. We're still not into the playoffs, and it all rides on this game right here. And if you can't play for that, then why are you here? So I think they'll be pretty locked in. I think our kids will come out and practice hard, this week, and I think they'll be focused in. It's senior day, as well. We want to play hard for those guys and get them a win, at home on their last, at least their last home game, and hopefully the potential to play more. But hopefully it doesn't become a problem. But we'll find out today, and if it doesn't, we'll fix it real quick. Yeah, I think so. Just looking at last year's game and things that happened. But the first thing is we got to go out and perform at a high level first, and try to get to that point, which you never know in any situation. But if we do get to that point, we'll probably pull some kids, here and there just to make sure that we have them, ready for the playoffs if we do win in this game. But you can't pull too many. Like O-line right now, we can't pull too many because there's not really much to pull from. And linebacker wise, there's a few kids we could put in there at the linebacker position. D-line wise, still kind of the same way, but we're not real deep at any position. So some of those kids might set to play the whole game, but if we get to that point, we're going to try to relieve some pressure off of them and get them a little bit of rest, so we can, hopefully, win that first game in the playoffs. Not right now. We thought, we had a chance to get Lodge back, but after, meeting with the doctors, he's probably still another week out, with his foot. So, so that's really it. That's probably the only guy that's had the chance to come back. So, we're about probably another week away, from him coming back. But so those guys that are sore right now and banged up a little bit, they just got to play that way, and that's just kind of the way it is. So, that's just that position. It's going to happen. You can't have enough of those guys. Same with the D-line. You can't have enough D-linemen as well. So we got to find ways to keep trying to stockpile that. But when you have as many injuries as we had at that position, it hurts you. But, our kids have done a good job of picking things up and doing things well. But, we just, we got to find a way to keep getting depth. And I think that just comes to recruiting. We got to recruit more kids, at those positions. And I thought we did a good job of it last year. But obviously we need to double, what we did last year. Just a good group of kids, and there's not a lot of them. There's only about 10 of them, and the funny thing is this group probably started with about 30. So a lot of kids don't make it all the way through, and it's hard to make it all the way through college football. But this group's been resilient. They've every season's been a winning season, and they found ways to win ball games. They work continuously, in the weight room, continuously through the summers, which is where I see them. This group most of the time, the summers were big to them. They're getting 70, 80 kids here, every summer. They're holding people accountable. Um, but they're good kids. You know, and that's the coolest thing about it. They're good kids. They always have a smile on their face. They love coming to work. They do things the right way. Every one of them are going to graduate, you know, with their degrees. Some are going to graduate here early in December, which is awesome to see as well. But just a group of kids that I'd love to have back for another year, you know, because they've done things the right way and they've done it the way it's supposed to be done. And, you know, we haven't had any problems with any of them. You know, they're just a good group that loves one another, loves Fort Hays State University. They're proud to be Tigers, and they're going to do everything they can do to win ball games for, for this program. And they want to leave their legacy behind. You know, that's a group of kids that are really, that have left their mark on this program. And, hopefully kids in the future see what these young men have done and try to up it. And if they up it, we're only going to be better, here in the future. It went well. He handled it really well. Jake's a good kid. He's got great character. He looks at the situations and how things kind of evolve and how things work and understanding the situation as well. But he was great on the headset. He helped Chance out quite a bit. As the game was going on, things he was seeing, things that he thought would work. He was letting us know those things as well. And he did a great job. He signaled for us, but he was a very positive, influence there on Saturday, and I was proud of him for doing that. And that's hard to do, but he did it, and he still knows that he's going to get his chance this week to be the starter, so he's going to bust his tail in that. He's already been watching film and getting himself prepared, but that's Jake. He's a team player. It's not about him. It's about this team, and whatever it takes for this team to win, he's going to do those things, and I mean, that's just kind of the kid he is. And I'm glad we have a kid like him on this team that, even though it wasn't probably what he wanted or his family wanted. He knew what was best for this team, and he did what was best for this team as well by coaching and being there and being supportive. And I'm proud of him for that, and I love him for that.
Really, I just watch film all week, and I know as soon as they bring Josh Caldwell in, they're going to try to give him the ball any way possible. So really, I was looking for any type of screens, and really I knew they was going to run up the middle because that's what they do, mainly when they on the short yardage. So, and coach put me in the right position to make the play. So when I was in high school, probably watched about a good hour of film just with coach and probably just a little bit at home. But now since I'm watching film, I can understand like everybody's movements and the way that they're set up, the way like offensive lineman stands, like just little stuff like that. And I've been improving because now we got to get about 6 hours of film, and then I watch film at home, and then in the game I already know what's coming sometimes. I think that's the best we played just because like in the hotel just before the game we were talking about like we was gonna give it our all, and we didn't want to leave anything back, especially for the seniors that's leaving. And they told me basically it comes fast, so just give it all you got because you never know it's gonna be your last play. So we gave it all we got. We definitely felt it was that we had to get there because it's always the little things we gotta fix. And we after that game we just had to take it one game at a time because if we give up off of one game, then that's just gonna put us back. So we just had to keep going, and that's what we did. We just took it 1 week at a time, and we just kept grinding. With Coach Ike, I can't lose focus with him because I just left film with him just a minute ago, and really he don't want me to take any team lightly. Even if they never won a game, period, he still wants me to go full tempo and just take them as like we're taking Northwest. So that's pretty much how I feel about that. I feel like we have more to show. Like I feel like it's still like people that we just need to step up more, and like as soon as we get that, like we just going like that's when our peak is going. But like I feel like we're improving every week though, like for sure. My mentality was just to go hard every play, and I knew that I was gonna get that from my brothers. My brothers was gonna just step up, and honestly, like everybody, like the whole D line, we got together, like so, like we knew everything that was coming sometimes, and like just the mentality that we was going through. Now we just had to keep rolling. We had to keep doing what we was doing, and every time we got them off the field, we had to get the ball to our offense, and they'll do what they have to do, and we'll just be on the bench just talking and making sure that everything's straight so we can, just keep doing it.
We got to take every game like it's Northwest from not here and now on. Like after this is playoffs, most likely. So we got to take every week, every day is like it's going against Northwest, preparing like Northwest keeping that same energy, that same hunger every week. Most definitely. We start even before practice. Now we have walkthroughs before the practice even start, going over praise for a good 30 minutes before practice even start. Warm-ups before warm-ups and all. So I think everybody's looking at it more serious than as we was in the beginning, because we know everybody know we MIAA champions, but at the same time we still got to hold up to a standard, So everything right now is looking as what can we do right now and to better ourselves in the long run. Most definitely, we just took it after that L. We had to take it and sit back and like, are we doing as a team, not as a coaching right now, but as a team that we can do. Because the coaches call the plays, but we run the plays when we on the field. You understand? So we had to understand with ourselves that we got to do this for us and just not for the coaches, but has for a family, has a brotherhood, and come together after that game. Oh yeah, senior night, that's a big night for any time of the season. Even in high school, even in college right now. So senior nights, we got to make sure that all our seniors go out with a bang. That's the last game of the season. We got to put up some numbers. Even if some seniors don't play, like we gonna have to put up numbers for they can play or for they can start. Everybody want to touch the field, and the senior night is a good night for that. Most definitely, most definitely. They took the role in stride. They went head in with it, no looking back. They understand that one person go down, somebody got to step up, and how the season and how we want it to come out, you have to step up. There's no sitting back and waiting for the next man, even though being young or being old, you're going to make mistakes regardless, So every mistake, you have to look forward to the next play and keep that mistake in your head, be like, I can't do that again, but the next play, I'm going to give it everything I got and don't worry about that mistake I just did. So I feel like that's a big role with the youngins and with myself included.